Everyone, hello. Welcome back to the Mind and Matt podcast, episode 5. Peace signs all around, I guess. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hopefully the camera quality is better this time, unlike last time, which was complete shit. I'm gonna be honest. I was being very nice to myself and like the YouTube. So I was like, it's not great, but I was like, God, this is fucking awful. So like I mean it was weird. It was some weird output thing. So hopefully it's fixed. I feel like it's not fixed though. So I'm gonna look back at it after and be like, well, God damn it, why is this shit?
And then we'll have to go from there.
And then we'll have to go from there. I'm gonna get pissed at the camera and probably break it. We'll see about that.
I won't let that happen.
No way. I will not let that happen.
I'll do what I must.
Well, Neil, I hope you're doing good today, man.
Yes, sir.
You were saying we should talk about our Memorial Day, but that was like literally a week ago when I did nothing. All I did was actually, you know what? I did take the day off from streaming. And I went with my mom. We did a bunch of shit.
Yeah. So
that was pretty cool. It was pretty nice. Where did we go? It was like this. What do they call them? Like not an auditorium. It's some like forest thing. It's like close to your house. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Arboretum or something?
Yeah, something like some name like that. We walked around for like an hour. So that was pretty cool. It was pretty hot outside, obviously.
Oh
but
my gosh. It's actually absurd.
I'm telling you, when I'm streaming, and it's like, the thing is, you know that little AC unit that we were just pulling out? I need that on, plus my box fan, and plus the fan in there, because it's 96 outside. Hot air rises, obviously. And my computer's letting off, like, usually when I play BO3 and stream, it's like 45, 50, but that's Celsius, though, so that's pretty hot. So, like, I've got
your CPU is what, 50?
My GPU.
Oh, GPU. Yeah, no, I mean that's
that's pretty. It's on the low end.
Yeah,
but that's still like over 100 degrees.
Oh, of course.
So I've got like a 100-degree little heater up to my right. I've got outside looking like Hades just came by, and then I'm just like, it's completely and utterly fucked. Obviously, honestly.
Yeah.
But that was last week. Now we can go to this week. And we're discussing what to start off with. I'm like, we got to start off with the NBA because it's definitely turned up from when we said it was boring as shit. Now it's been a lot better. I think we can agree on that.
Yes.
But my God, that game too. So Boston, they got it done. They got a split in Golden State.
They did.
They started off the game pretty well. It was a 22-13 lead at one point.
I'm watching the whole game, okay? And there's times if you watch
he's just going in.
If you watch the game carefully, you will see what happened, right? It was 22-13. We were going to talk about, okay, I'm going right into this because we wanted to talk about the bad officiating.
Yep.
And let me preface what I'm about to say about the bad officiating. Boston in game 2, they played terribly.
Yeah, they did.
They played awful. It was terrible all around. It was abysmal. So they didn't help themselves. I mean, the refs sucked that night, but they didn't help themselves. Oh man, they were awful. The ghost Casper foul on Jaylen Brown when Gary Payton is going for a layup. That right there. The problem with these calls, people are like, when they talk about the Rockets, and it was like, 27 missed threes and things like that. If you play the game and you watch the game, it's about momentum.
Yeah.
It's if one team is hitting hard and they're going and they're getting fast breaks, they have the momentum. But when they call that foul, because Gary Payton, he was going to go score or whatever, but when they call that foul, it stops the whole game.
Yeah.
Because that's a fast break. Fast break, then Boston gets it back, they keep going. Yeah. But no, they're literally stopping the game so much that it stops Boston's momentum. They had it 22-10, and then after that, their momentum was killed. They stayed in it, but they just played bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny. I can kind of talk about this as well. I just hate all of the fucking replays now. Everything is replayed, and like there's times I'm like that does warrant a replay, but it seems like when someone gets hit, semi-hard, it's not, we gotta look at it. And I'm like, bro, you're just making these games, like, longer than they have to. And
That's exactly what it is.
I feel like there's just so many, like, we talked about this before, like, with reviews and flow of the game, but it just feels like that these playoffs have just been bogged down by so many replays. I'm like, bro, not another replay.
It's too slow, dude. It's too slow. The game is so slow. They kill, especially, look, it's in the first 2 games were in Oakland, okay? It's already late on our time. So when you're watching the game and a quarter takes 30 minutes to get through, it's like, what is happening?
It feels longer sometimes.
It does, because the ball stops. The ball stops. And the thing I keep saying about momentum is, if you're getting transition points, you can pick up momentum. You don't have to play, because in literally episode 3, we've talked about this. A team gets destroyed when you have to play the whole entire game in the half court. You can't play the whole – it's not possible. You can't play the whole game in the half court. You have to genuinely generate offense every single play. You can't do it. Yeah. That's why with transition, you can get some easy layups, 2v1s, 3v1s. But I will say, Boston, they were so shitty with handling the ball.
They forced way too many shots. That third quarter was awful. I thought Tatum and Brown did a good job of starting the game. But that third quarter, I just thought they just didn't move the ball. There was no clear here's a mismatch, we're gonna attack. I think it was just kind of running around on offense, and Golden State took a full advantage of that.
And you know what? Really, the worst part about that game that sent me into a frenzy. Yeah. It's 52-52. Mm-hmm. It's before halftime. Or is it maybe after halftime? Robert Williams is clearly nowhere near 100%. He looks like he's 30% out there. He's limping. He can't move. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. Udoka has to take him out. Because Mark Jackson is on air, and he's like, oh, if I was him, I would attack the screen every single time and attack Robert Williams. Well, and they did that.
But then the problem is, who are you going to bring in then?
But Ian, what I'm trying to say...
You should go... at that point, you should just go small with Grant Williams at the center.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know how much I love Robert Williams. Right. I genuinely think he's the X factor.
Yeah, we all love him.
But he's not... He wasn't even near 50%. He was hobbling. He was hobbling on the court, and it cost 8 straight points. Yeah. First of all, that first possession, he's down there. He can't move. He doesn't even go over to the other side because he can't move. Boom, easy dish off. It's a layup. He can't move. They keep going. They take it down. Boston has the ball. He's top of the key. Marcus Smart brings it. He comes around, and then Robert Williams gets it. He can't really move, like I said, so he goes and he dribbles to the wing to give it to Jaylen Brown, so he's hobbling over there. And then he gets double-teamed. Jaylen Brown gets double-teamed, so he brings his player over. Turnover. They go score, hit a 3 off that or hit a 2 off that. So they score 7 straight off of it. And then the funniest part is they call a timeout. Udoka called a timeout somewhere between this. And I'm like, oh, thank God. They're going to take Robert out. He just looks bad. Then he came back in. He came back in. And I'm like, no, what's happening? He's throwing the game. He has to be throwing the game. He has to. He has to be throwing the game. And then he finally put Grant in. And then that point, it was 60-52. And then from there, we never came back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to, if Robert Williams isn't playing well, I feel like Daniel Tice is unplayable in this series. Because for some reason, he thinks that being in a good guard position is okay. But when he's 5 feet away from Steph Curry.
He is bad.
He's had a really bad he's been playing pretty well throughout the playoffs. But this might just not be a good matchup for him, honestly.
No, it's not, because the thing about the Warriors is our centers without Robert, we're a little screwed, because Robert plugs the paint. Those guys can't get in there. But when he has to come out, Grant's not too bad, but
no, he's fine. But the problem is that I feel like you're talking about going small and putting him in the center. Kevin Looney's... He's been pretty good down there the entire playoff, and I feel like if you put Grant Williams on Kevon Looney, that's going to be offensive rebounds for days.
So let's talk about, because I want to talk about Draymond right now. I know we talked highly about Draymond the other day in one of the episodes, but I'm watching Draymond essentially run around the court. There's a play, and we were just talking about this earlier. He had his bows out. Steph Curry is coming across half court, and you just see him get out of my way, number 1. Get out of my way, number 2. Get out of my way, number 3. He pushes 3 guys back, and Steph hits an open 3. And they're like, wow, Steph for 3. And I'm like, did nobody see what just happened? Did nobody see Draymond just tackle 3 people?
Was that after the whole should have been tech number 2?
Yes.
I think it was,
yeah. It was after.
I mean...
Look,
it's funny. It was funny because I saw it play and laughed because it reminded me. Do you remember there was another Celtics Warriors game in I want to say it was 2019 or 2018, where the Celtics up 3 at the end of the game, and of course Steph's gonna try to shoot a 3 at the end. Like obviously it's a side out of bounds play, and I can just see Draymond just like barreling people like he literally he tripped Avery Bradley. And then he like, God, what did he do to Marcus Smart? He did something illegal to Marcus Smart,
dude.
And I'm like, it's so funny because it reminded me of that play, and I was like, that shit was like 4 years ago, and we're still
here.
We're still doing this 4 years ago, and like no ref or the NBA just hasn't cared or caught on really.
Dude, it's crazy. Like it's crazy. I'm watching the whole game. He's not even like I get. There's people. I was on Twitter. I'm reading this stuff. I don't comment on anything on Twitter. I just like to see what people say. And dude, there's some people like, oh well, you guys wanted some rough '90s basketball. Well, you got it. That's not rough '90s basketball. That's not even basketball, dude.
No, it's not.
Is that like if you watch the '90s, you watch the '80s, they're making basketball plays. They're doing plays on the ball. They're doing plays.
That's the thing I think people realize when they talk about '90s basketball. They think it's just like some bad boys, just like bonanza. But that's not how it was. They still called fouls back then.
Literally.
But like it was like kind of I guess the more of the little like hand contact or back back hand to the back contact. I think it's that's '90s basketball. But when someone back in the day got slapped on the arm, it was still a foul like it is today.
Yes.
Nothing really changed from like in terms of the actual rules themselves.
Yeah.
When it's a clear offensive foul.
The only thing that's really changed is hand checking.
That's really the only thing that's changed.
It's really the only thing that's changed. Hand checking
and more spacing on the floor. You don't have Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing on the floor at the same time.
There's much less centers, but he's out there. And my problem with that Draymond that Draymond experience we had in this game was he's not making any plays on the basketball. He's just the thing about Draymond is he's the gritty guy for the Warriors, right? Mm-hmm. He's their guy that's like a tough guy.
He's their point center as well.
He's their point center, and he's great at that. But he's the guy that's supposed to strike fear. A Pat Bev, one of these guys that strikes fear into the defense. But he's not even striking fear. He's like, I'm just going to beat you up. Like, I'm just going to yell at you. And he's like pulling Jaylen Brown's pants down. And like, let's go through this. Okay, let's go through every moment that he had and explain.
Well, we can just talk about the two main ones.
No, I want to talk about those two main ones. But those are the main ones. What I'm trying to get at, because by the rule book, he should have been ejected. Now, I knew they weren't going to eject him. I'm not mad they didn't. I'm just saying, by the rule book.
I was pretty mad they didn't
We have seen. Oh, I know Ian was livid.
I was pretty pissed.
But I just warned myself because I know how this is going to go. We got Adam Silver on the. So the first one, right? Who did he get into?
It was Grant Williams.
It was Grant Williams.
Yeah.
But right, and he's barreling through Grant Williams. Grant Williams is going like this, and he's like putting his shoulder under him, picking him up. Like, I'm like, Draymond, what are you doing? Like, you're not even trying to get around him. You're just trying to barrel through him.
Yeah.
So he was trying to hit everybody, get in everybody's face, bark at him. Oh, you're not me. Like, you wish you were me. Like, dude, you're not really doing anything right now. You're just beating people up on the court. It's an assault and battery. So right, they give him the tech. It was a double tech. They gave him and they gave Grant Williams a tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
it was a double T.
Are you sure? Because I thought only Boston shot the free throw.
Might have just. Actually, no, you're right.
Yeah, it was just a tech on Draymond.
Draymond tech, yeah.
So Draymond gets the tech.
And he should have got a tech.
He should have got a tech.
It was definitely a tech.
He's pushing, he's elbowing, they're getting into it.
Grant Williams is sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, he's doing nothing.
And Draymond Green just starts causing shit.
Yeah, literally. So then there's tech number one.
And then and then tech number two, so
Jaylen Brown
goes up for the shot. Draymond Green just barrels him over.
Yeah.
Clear and obvious foul. And then
he has his feet.
Well, then he has his feet on Jaylen Brown's head basically.
Yes.
And
he's not moving. He's not moving.
As a man, or even as a person, really, if someone was resting their legs on you, get your damn leg off my
grimy feet off of me, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And then Draymond thinks he's being like.
The funniest part is, if it was him in that situation,
he would have done the same shit.
He would have gone ballistic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He would have done the same shit, right?
Would the same thing.
So when Jaylen Brown, of course, as a natural human reaction, pushes it off me. Draymond Green continues to keep going.
He's pushing him
pushing him like that, and doing other stuff.
Jaylen Brown gets up. The funny thing about that is Jaylen Brown gets up. And
what
the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? and Draymond's trying to pull his pants down.
Yeah, like I mean, and it's
Like, what?
It's ridiculous. Like I'm like they have to eject him. Like
They have to.
And like there's two separate instances of techs, but both of them warranted technical fouls, and you should be ejected from the game. And like
That's what the book says.
that's what the book. And then they don't give out any technical fouls, and then I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, what's the explanation? And then ESPN brings Steve Javie on, who makes the situation about 40 million times worse, saying that like, oh yeah, whenever like when someone has a tech, like we take into account that they have a tech basically, and if whether or not to throw them out of the game, like that's just bad officiating in my opinion.
Because literally like it's stupid.
It's stupid because Draymond got a tech earlier as he did because he did some dumb shit.
But also he's and I want you to continue that. But the whole time it's not like he had this incident and then he did a tech. He's doing shit the whole entire time before that. He's messing around. He's barking. He's yelling at the ref. He's doing this and that. And it's like, dude, it's like you don't want to be in the game. He looked like he wanted to go home. He looked like he had his food was ready at the house, and he's like, maybe I can get a couple techs and a flagrant 2 and I can go home. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and then we went to Steve Javie, like that's he said himself like, oh, that's what I used to do, and I used to officiate with like I take into account if someone had a tech. But I'm like, if someone warrants a tech in a situation, whether they have 1 or 0, to me at least, it shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter because,
it shouldn't.
As I said, Draymond Green well deserved that first technical foul, and to me, there should have been a second one. He's like the thing about those situations is that he was escalating them. The second one for sure.
The second was worse than the first one.
What did Draymond expect Jaylen Brown to do there? Just let him.
Please keep kicking me in the head.
Like basically, remember that one time when Kendrick Perkins like sat on someone in a basketball game? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like it's like that. Like what do you expect?
Me.
What do you expect the guy to do? Like let you just sit there?
Yeah, get off.
Like
me.
Get off me. And then when you escalate a situation, that's usually grounds for a technical foul.
But you're right, dude. And they go on the air and they say, "Whoa, we take this into account." That's bias. That's 100%.
It's literally bias, and like
it's bias. There's no other fact that goes along with it. Oh yeah, that's going. That is about to. Yeah, no, it's bias, right? Because it's nothing taking into account. He's not saying anything of like, oh well, we have to look at the situation. No. The situation that they're looking at is genuinely if he has a tech or not. That's it. That's all they looked at. Okay, wow, it was a pretty tough situation, but what does Draymond have? Oh, he has a tech. Is it, should we boot him from the game? Should we not? Maybe we should keep him in. That's the thought process. And you can't think like that. Like
no,
you can't just like give a guy benefit of the doubt because dude, I've seen it the other way. Like we've seen it way too many times the other way where guy got too easily gone.
Yeah. No, to me it was just bad officiating, and the fact that Steve Javie used to call it that shows that he was not a good official in those situations.
He's not.
Because you can't allow someone to stay in a game if they're escalating multiple instances.
You can't.
That's literally the letter of the law. And like the problem with it was that what made it worse in my opinion was that it wasn't a Tony Brothers and I just lost his name.
Scott?
And Scott Foster. It was a Zach Zarba led officiating team. If it was Scott and Tony Brothers, I would probably expect it, to be honest, because one, they're not good officials, and two, like it just feels like that it's all about them and shit. But like, I mean, I was surprised that it was a Zach Zarba officiating crew that completely botched the call, in my opinion.
The thing is, man, they want Draymond to stand. They need the Warriors to win that game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's also one thing is that I'm sorry, I gotta say this is that Adams, like, I understand like Adam Silver always needs to be supportive of all teams, but you can't say that it's good for one X team to be back in the finals. To me, that sends the wrong message to a lot, because like what if it was Dallas. And Dallas against Boston, would you say the same thing, or would you not say the same thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the thing. Like if it's good for the league, then I guess it's good for the league. I mean, I don't really think it is either way, in my opinion.
No, I agree, because you can't just go say, oh, this team is so good that this team right here, not the other team.
And then that next game, you got officials clearly favoring the Warriors in these situations where a player should definitely be thrown out, but it just doesn't matter. And then the worst part is that Draymond Green basically brags about it after the game and on the post game, saying that, like, I deserve differential treatment. Like, no, you don't. You like it doesn't like you don't deserve differential treatment. Like, I don't see like why you should. You cause a lot of commotion on the floor a lot of the times.
I think it's like, look, if you're gonna be an ass to the ref. Whenever I played, like I wasn't playing on D1 or NBA level, but whenever I played, I was nice to the ref because if you're an ass to the ref, they're not going to call anything for you. They won't like you.
Usually, I guess for Draymond, it doesn't matter though, according to him, because he gets
Draymond,
differential treatment.
So my thing is like, look, and again, I prefaced this before. Boston didn't help themselves. Okay, they didn't really help themselves. They didn't play that well, and on top of that, the refs were against them. It was just like they weren't going to win that game. But the frustrating part about this to me is we all know that there is bias in the league. Okay, since the league has been born, we know we can talk about Sacramento versus LA and that game where it was rigged because Sacramento they were up 3-2 or something. And
yeah, I mean, like that's like
But I'm saying like we have these situations. I've watched games where we're like, oh, these calls are not that good. But as of late, and this is why I get on Adam Silver, dude, because as of late, there is just so blatant. It's so blatant. In 10 years ago, if I'm watching a game, oh, that's a bad call. Like, that's not that good of a call. But it was never like, I'm watching a game like, oh my God, Jaylen Brown is not even touching him. He's like this. He's like this.
I kind of agree with you, but also the worst thing about it for me is that
it ruins the game.
It ruins the game, and for one that I know these officials mostly. I mean, I watch a lot of games, so I'd probably still know them by name. But it's not just me that knows them. It's the casual NBA fan that actually knows the ref's name now. Yeah. Guarantee you, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that wasn't a thing.
No
way. It wasn't a thing. And the worst thing about it is that now I know before a game starts and which refs are reffing which game. Like, even though Boston won Game 4 against Brooklyn, before it was even announced, I knew Scott Foster was reffing that game. You knew it.
Yeah, you know it.
Like you know, like I know he's there, and then everyone on Twitter was also like, "Yep, Scott Foster Game 4. What a huge surprise!"
It's so blatant.
And
now.
and the thing about it is that Adam, or just the league in general, just seems to like. It just seems like they don't really care about that. The fans know these guys by name. We shouldn't know them by name. Casual for sure should know by name, and we shouldn't basically know what game they're reffing before it happens.
Because then because then you look, Scott Foster's or their crew is reffing Game 6. Okay, this is a wrap. Like you just know.
Like in most situations, it's tied up 3-3 heading back to wherever basically, and it just. To me, it's kind of unhealthy. To me, as a fan for myself, it's unhealthy knowing that, especially when it's a playoff game, it's a high tense. Like especially when the Rockets are making the playoffs. I knew Scott Foster was going to ref Game 7 in 2018. I knew he was going to ref Game 2 of 2019 in the semifinal. That's like I shouldn't know this before it's announced, which is such a huge problem. I don't know when Scott Foster will ref a game this playoff, this finals. I'm sure maybe a Game 6, but I haven't really thought about that yet. But it's just kind of sad, and honestly it's hard sometimes just knowing that it's the same refs making the same dumbass calls, because it just feels 100%. Like that whenever I watch a Scott Foster game, some shit just happens.
It does. Like that podcast. Okay, the podcast is Whistleblower.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about it.
Oh, I listened to the entire series.
And when he talks about he's talking about the refs, and there's a lot of stuff they talk about the refs because Tim Donaghy is there and they're chatting with him. The refs are betting on the games. They're betting on their games. So Tim Donaghy's sitting there and he's like, you know what? Like, if I knew, let's say there's reffing crew A, B, C, D. If I saw reffing crew B, and he's reffing Minnesota and KG was there, he said, I knew that I would tell my friends, go for the other team because this reffing crew doesn't like KG. Or this, and that. And they knew the reffing crews. It'd be like if there was a Game 6, they knew which ref and crew was going to do the game 6 because it was 10 out of 10 times that it's going to go to a game 7, right? Yeah. And on top of that, so he's talking about Tim Donaghy, he's talking about all this stuff, and you really think about it, he's even saying, which I think is funny, like how you were just talking about how this guy's like, oh, we take into account the technical foul. They have a ref and crew, right? There's 3 refs, and then they have like the head ref, and before the game they talk and they say, okay, last night we called we called majority of charges, we called a travel here and there this many times. Shaq had this many with we need to call more fouls on Shaq. They would literally say, hey, we need to do this more. We need to do this more. We need to call more defensive fouls, call less this. And it's like, that's completely biased. Like, you're literally going in because, right, you can look at an offensive foul and a defensive foul. And, right, at the end of the day, like, it can go both ways if it's close. But if you're going into the game and you call majority defensive fouls, right, then you're going in premeditated. Because the next game, it could be more charging fouls. It could be flipped and it's charging fouls. So it's hard to pinpoint and say they're manipulating the game. But like you're saying, if you're going in with a biased notion of, okay, we need to be focusing on calling more offensive fouls. We need to be, okay, Draymond has a tech. Let's make sure we don't get him out, see the situation. That's completely biased in my opinion. It's like, why does Draymond get special treatment? Okay, he has a few rings, but like, what? He's not Stephen Curry. He's not Michael.
No.
He's not LeBron. What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And then, like, and that's the thing about it is that, like, you talk about, like, a officiating crew not liking certain players. You know that every time a Chris Paul Scott Foster game happens, it's personal. It's personal. And what makes it worse is it's not Chris Paul versus the other team is playing, and then it becomes Chris Paul versus Scott Foster, and it always happens every game they referee, and like there's a thing about it, CP talked about it. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago after a game. Of course, Scott Foster officiated and the Rockets lost. Was that like he's tried to sit down with him and like the league is like kind of like a middleman kind of thing. It's like and Scott as well, but nothing's ever seemed to work out with it. And like, you know, Chris can never understand why Scott Foster doesn't like him, or you know what he did. You know, maybe hurt his dog or something at some point. But like, I mean, it's ridiculous that. And I understand that they're like the rest are humans, so they're not gonna like or dislike people. But like, it's your job to be
the neutral. You're the neutrality of the game.
You're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be like,
oh, I don't like this guy, so you know, let me. That's premeditated.
You're not supposed to be the third team on the floor.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to be the third. There's a competition is between 2 teams, not 3. And if you're inserting yourself like that, then it makes the actual game versus the 2 teams that the people came to watch a shit ton worse.
It's just bad for the game. You said it best. It's bad for the game. It's tough because, you know, we've watched so much basketball, and basketball has literally shifted just the past 5 years. Ever since kind of the Warriors came into fruition and Steph changed the game with the 3, it's so different. Adam Silver came in here, and it's like, because everybody knew David Stern was also part of the, you know, a little scandalous and things like that, but it wasn't as blatant. Yeah, there were some games where you're like, whoa, that's bad. But you would see some calls here and there, and it's hard to tell. But that, like, we're seeing games like the last game where it's just obvious they want a team to win because they're like, oh, and we all know money and, oh, we need more games. And even they slow the game down by calling a surplus of fouls.
Yeah, that's what I always wonder. Like, do they get more advertisements?
Because they get more advertisements. The length of the game, you have to watch more game. But it's very, like, you know, it's just very bad for the game. And I think COVID, honestly, has really made it so blatant. Because whenever the money has ran low, now Adam and crew is like, oh, we need to spice things up. I mean, shit, they literally forced the bubble. They forced the bubble. Nobody wanted to play in that bubble. Nobody wanted to play in the bubble. You know it.
Well, you know, it's also farming interactions as well on Twitter, because you see Scott Foster trending on Twitter sometimes, bro. Like an official, not for some like Tim Donaghy scandal, just because he's reffing the fucking game,
dude. And you know what's funny? Like this in the whole, like, if you guys listen to Whistleblower, you'll think it's an amazing podcast too. But The funniest thing in that podcast to me is Tim Donaghy when they're doing the ruling and things like that. Right, we know how they caught Tim Donaghy. Right, he got into some bad business.
Right,
and he's telling the mafia, he's telling big name people what to bet on. And these guys were being stupid, and they're putting $20 million on the line. So when you put $20 million on the line, it shifts the line so much. The FBI is like, whoa, what is happening? So they caught him like that. But Tim Donaghy, when they looked at his phone records, they're like, I can't remember the number, but I think they're like, Mr. Donaghy, you have over like 200,000 minutes of like talking to Scott Foster on the phone. He's literally before every game would call Scott and they would talk for a little bit. And he's like, oh, no, we would just talk about our family and stuff. Are you kidding me?
200,000 minutes for the family
It's something
talk?
Absurd, dude. I don't know if it's 200,000, but it's like it's a very high number.
Yeah.
And it's like, Scott Foster is there. Scott Foster, you can't escape Scott, dude.
Oh, man. He's inevitable.
He's inevitable.
He's inevitable.
They're like, David's like, he's like, this is Scott, you're not going to take the fall for this. Scott, you're not taking the fall for this. Tim, good night.
Good night.
Someone has to be the fallen angel. It's Tim Donaghy. Get out of here, dude. Yeah. And I love how Tim Donaghy now just talks about it. He's just like, it's just what it is.
It's like the post Jordan Belfort kind of thing.
Yeah, literally. Honestly,
it's like where he just openly talks about, I did all this crap, and this is how it is.
And my thing is like, game 2 Warriors. Okay, fine. If the Warriors lose that game 2. Is Adam Silver really that worried? That's like, oh my God, the series is over. You know what I mean? Does he have that little faith in the team that literally has like a three-peat? And
it's also won a playoff road game in like 19 straight series as well.
It's like, so I get that you want to do this stupid, they win one. I bet you this is going to go to 7. I know it's going to. No, I bet you. I know it's going to go to 7. I know it. He's not going to let it like be 6. The NBA Finals, dude. Because think about how much revenue you make off a Game 7 NBA Finals.
Way too much.
Oh my God. He's like,
way too much.
Courtside will be $50,000. You're like, what? No way, dude. No way. No. So it's just like, I understand, but the blatant, it just drives me crazy, dude.
All I know is that Scott Foster
will
be in Boston, Massachusetts for a certain Game 6.
Oh, he's going to be
regardless of what the series is.
It doesn't matter who it's going to be.
It could be Boston up 3-2. It could be Golden State up 3-2.
You're going to go for the one that's down. It's just what's going to happen. That last game was honestly, I'm just watching it like they were calling it. It's so obvious. They think they're so tricky. Like, oh, foul. And it's like foul every single time. So there's momentum it's dead. Momentum is done. If you've played the game and you're playing and you have to, and you're like, you're up and the team is mounting a comeback and they're getting a lot of calls and you're sitting at the free throw line, they're shooting, you're like, oh man, we can't get into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. I can't get my shooters going. It's like Houston. When we missed those 27 threes, we missed 27 threes. I'm not giving you an excuse on why.
But the problem is that when James goes up 4 times for threes, he gets fouled on all 4 of them, and he gets no free throws out of them.
Foot under, hand in the face. So it's like that's an issue. But Ariza shooting. But if you look at that game, I watched that game, and they're calling fouls. They're calling fouls because we were up by like 15 at the half.
We are at 15 with Clint Capella going just absolutely
nuts. And do you think
nuts.
Adam Silver was like, he was not happy with that, dude? He was like, he got Scott on the phone, and he was like, I swear to everything that you love, if you don't turn this game around, I'm going to like that picture. You know that picture we have to somehow wish we could put it on.
Brooklyn Celtics one? When like Boston's celebrating because they're about to sweep the series, and Scott Foster's like,
he's like,
damn it, I tried.
He's like, damn it, I tried, dude. That picture alone is so funny.
I could not. And that picture, that's not one to. I could.
You send it to me, and dude, his face is just like, oh my.
He's like, damn it, dude. We're not going back to Boston for Game 5. Fuck me. Like, god damn it.
That picture alone, dude, is so funny. But you know what? I will give some kudos to Adam. He is blatant. He does not care. He does not care. He doesn't care. He's like, you know what? These calls are going to happen because we're bitching about it right now. But like he
Yeah.
doesn't care. He's like, oh, okay, I'm making my money. Like it doesn't matter.
It's the farming interaction thing.
Exactly. So it's frustrating, man. I want to see how Game 3 goes because I wonder how bad the officiating is going to be.
All I know is that Rockets fans have been shouting this for about 4 or 5 years,
And everybody-
and everyone was
yes.
laughing at us, and now look what's happening.
Now look, and
Now
to,
look.
to go to that 27 threes. Yes, we missed those 27 threes. But when you're playing I think we had maybe two fast break opportunities that whole half.
Yeah.
We played the half court the whole entire half. If you watch the first half, we're running. Clint, James, we're running. Our offense is moving, and they're like, no. Every time they'd come down, foul. Every time they'd come down, foul. So it's like, okay, fine. And then then we're trying to shoot threes, and again, our issue was I don't think we should have kept chunking up the threes. But when you're killing momentum as a shooter, it is hard to really get into rhythm.
And when you also know in the back of your head that you're getting no calls, and that
Exactly.
your star player is literally getting barrel rolled every single time he shoots a three, and then they're just not calling anything. That's
an
I think
avalanche.
it stays in your mind.
It stays in your mind.
It has to,
Because it comes down to the point where you have to play a perfect game. You have to play a perfect game.
And defensively, they did that game.
And it just
And
offensively.
they just couldn't get anything to go because James got fouled on like 5 threes, and none of them were called.
And it's when you kill the momentum, you start you start fumbling, you start leaving your sets, and that was one thing about Udoka. I was getting pissed about because I'm like, Brad Stevens. I will say, Brad Stevens was a shitty coach. Okay, I'm gonna say it right now, Brad. You were a shitty coach, but Brad, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you stepped down. Brad, I will give you the benefit of the doubt because you stepped down and you said, you know what, this is not for me. Let me be the GM, right? Because he can't make adjustments. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, it's like the definition of insanity. He's doing the same thing over and over again. Obviously, the sets are not working. They're attacking us, the bigs, and he's like, oh, okay, we'll just stick it out. And you're like, dude, you got to make adjustments. So Udoka, I'm like, oh man, let's go. Like this guy makes adjustments. He's been making adjustments. He's been coaching so well. That last run that we made the end of the season where we were just torching, we're doing good adjustments. So when he's not taking Robert Williams out, I'm like, there's something happening. Adam is on the phone or something.
I think he just had a bad game.
Wasn't. Oh, Udoka?
Yeah,
I think he was flustered.
Yeah,
or something.
he got completely flustered in my opinion. And then that he's a first year coach.
He is.
And I think when things just kind of are happening a bit fast, just sometimes it's just like you have a bad game.
I know, and I do.
Coaches can have bad games as well,
And I do give him benefit of the doubt because literally every series we've played so far, he's made the right adjustments.
Yeah, he just had a bad game.
And he had a bad game, but that one was so frustrating to me because it was like, it's very visible that Robert is not doing well. He's in a lot of pain. He's hobbling. Like, in the plays, when he's sitting at the paint, he can't come up that much because he can't retreat fast enough. He can't get to the hole fast enough. So whenever he moved one step, it was over. Kevon Looney was there. He just can't even get back. So I hope Game 3 is a little bit more interesting.
I think they're fine.
I think
And the thing about it is that like Jordan Poole had a really good second half.
That boy Jordan Poole.
He's so good. I'm be interested to see how he plays in Game 3 to see if the moment's too big for him or not. I think if Golden State's gonna win the series, I think Wiggins and Poole have to play.
So let me ask you something. Jordan Poole's been playing pretty well.
Well, he played. He didn't have a good first game.
Yeah, he didn't have first game, but I would say overall. Let's just say overall, and just the playoffs.
Yeah, he's played really
Steph
well.
has played well. Draymond has done his job. Kevon Looney has been playing out of his gourd.
Yeah, he's been playing great.
But what if you're Clay, right? Because Clay he's had some games where he got hot, but this series, like this final series, he doesn't have it, right? He can't buy a bucket, and
maybe he's just tired, and like that's a natural thing if you
I think so.
haven't played for 2 years, and then you're basically back into a playoff race in the playoffs. I mean, it's not easy. I mean,
no, it's not. But they need him.
They need him to play well
because look, Jordan Poole can play well, but Clay is that 20 to 30 points that is deflating.
Yeah.
Clay's 20 to 30 points is because he goes 3 after 3 after 3. Like whenever they close Dallas out, it's just deflating. Because Clay's just hitting. He's hitting tough jumpers, and you're just like, we can't stop him. We can't. It's like it literally is like LaMarcus Aldridge. When we played them in Portland, it's deflating. When he has 40 to 45, and he's fade, step, boom, one dribble, pull up, and you're like, oh my God. For us, it's like we threw everything we had.
And imagine, definitely not me, by the way, being on the sideline for 90 of those points. Just again, as you said, fadeaway after fadeaway. It's like Akeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing came back to life. But yeah, no, I completely agree. But I think Boston's fine. I
think so too.
I am obviously a bit concerned about the fact that Golden State has won a road playoff game in 19 straight playoffs.
They're gonna win one at least.
I think they will, but I'm hoping they don't. But we'll
maybe
see.
the refs will go for Boston next game, and then maybe they'll just keep going back and forth until we get a game 7.
Well, we'll see. I guess.
I just hope, if I take the ref variable out, I just hope Boston plays better. Let's take the ref variable out right now. On Boston's end, they were shell-shocked. They were a little shell-shocked. They were lost. They turned the ball over too much. They need to just get back to, because we talked about this. If you're playing Golden State, you have to stick to the game plan. It's easier said than done, of course. But that's what that's what the Warriors do. They get you out of your sets. They get you scrambled. They get you befuddled. And you just need to time out, say, okay, guys, come on, let's get it together. The plan is, because they're going to get their points.
Yeah.
Steph is going to get his, but you got to keep sticking to the plan because Clay's not hitting. If I can try to stop Steph, and the next level that they need, Draymond, we talk about Draymond does his part very well, but the thing that hinders the Warriors is Draymond has absolutely zero offense.
I mean, his shooting's never been great, obviously.
His shooting's never been great. Like, dude, I've seen whenever he gets the ball at the three-point line, we're standing 5 feet away from him. Because we're like, shoot it. Hit it, Draymond. Please shoot that ball. Like, if you make it, fine. I can sleep at night. So, I don't know. I think for him, if he can even develop something. Because, like, P.J. Tucker, right? P.J. Tucker is not that great of an offensive player. But if he was in the corner shot, you would be like, oh, no. Like, he could hit this.
Yeah.
If Draymond could develop something like that, but I don't think he can.
I think
it's too late.
A bit too late. It's like Russell Westbrook. It's a bit too late.
It's a bit too late. But I think that's good on basketball. I hope we get another good game next game. I stopped watching. It was a 30-point game. I was like, oh, this is a stupid game.
Oh yeah, no, I turned off after the third quarter.
From the beginning, it wasn't even fun to watch. Honestly, it was too slow. I don't like when the game is slow.
Too slow and too controversial for my liking.
It is. It is very much, and even take out my Boston bias, I just don't like watching NBA games that there's so many foul calls and the game is so slow. And then we're getting like very, very controversial calls of, like Draymond should have been ejected. I'm like, it's just too much. It's like reality TV. It genuinely is like I'm watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to NBA.
Yeah, I'm done talking about basketball.
Yeah, I'm done. I had to get that out. But let's get to the GOAT himself.
Oh, baby. Episode 3.
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Episode
part 3.
I mean, what else is there to say? We talked about last week.
Wait, hold on. Spoilers. If nobody has seen episode 3.
Spoilers.
If anybody has not seen episode 3, stop right here in the video because we're going to go in.
If you haven't seen episode 3 then you better not be on the internet. I mean, even Star Wars himself, like, you haven't watched it? Tough shit. We're showing off Darth Vader in the mentions. But, I mean, so we talked about last week how we weren't sure what Vader's involvement was going to be, if he'd be, like, the main villain of these next 2 episodes. They were like, fuck it, we're going right into it. He's right on Mustafar. He's already, like, literally 2 minutes in the episode, we're already in action. Like, yep, dude. Darth Vader's here.
And also, you're talking about how, what is it, the head Inquisitor?
The Grand
Inquisitor.
Yeah.
You see, I sent you on Instagram.
Yeah, you saw me. I saw that.
Yeah, they, because it wasn't canon that they kill him off, so I think he's going to be alive.
Well, yeah, I think, as I mentioned, I knew
they were going to do something. I think that he's alive. But you're right. They went straight to Vader. And Vader, like, the thing that I loved was This Vader was just ruthless.
Yeah.
He was ruthless. I mean, he walked in there and he's like pretty much like trying to lure Obi-Wan out. He's literally pulling people out of their houses, cracking their necks.
Dude, when he literally
He just
force choked a dad out. And his son comes out of the damn like hut.
He's like,
and he's
"No."
like, "Oh, excuse me." Like he literally does like that.
And
he snaps the kids like live on Disney Plus, by the way.
And Obi-Wan is just like, oh my gosh, he's looking from that window, and I'm just like, leave, get out of there.
Yeah, it was honestly like it was so thrilling and suspenseful because like it felt like it wasn't like a horror movie, but I think it's just more of a thriller, and just like. You know, when Vader like moves his head this way, does he see Obi-Wan? Or he doesn't.
Yo, whenever he was like, when he like just
oh yeah,
cranked
like,
left.
when he goes like that, I'm like, he
knows he's
well,
there.
he knows he was there, but he didn't see him. I'm like,
right, because that's a good place to start because everything else in the beginning of the episode, they're still trying to run.
Well, yeah, they're basically running away from the Empire still. I mean,
yeah, and then Vader pulls up on their location, and they're trying to sneak around.
I like all the focus honestly in the episode was on Darth Vader. It wasn't on Leia, Reva, or like any even Obi-Wan himself really. I mean, it was all on Vader, and he was
amazing.
I gotta say, I mean, well, for one, I gotta give credit to the team who made Darth Vader. He looked so good. He also sounded great as well because
James Earl
Jones, but like obviously James Earl Jones is. That man is 90 years old now, and he doesn't have the same like booming
vibrato,
voice. Right.
Yeah, that
so,
vibrato,
like,
yeah.
But I thought they did a good job of changing the voice up in post production, and to me, like he sounded just like Vader did back in 1977.
He sounded exactly.
He sounded great to me, and you know it just made it even more terrifying. It's like
he was ruthless,
and it's just like getting the same voice. The same style, but you just know with 2022 CGI and all that stuff, it's just gonna look 40 times better.
Oh, and it looked so good.
And when he brings out his lightsaber, like in Kenobi's looking at him.
Yeah, whenever he's running in like that outside area, Obi-Wan's just running, and then you just hear zoom, and then it's like, I was just sitting there like, this is about to happen, and then everybody says Obi-Wan looks at him, and he's like. He starts running away.
Starts running again.
Because he's terrified, dude. Obi-Wan hasn't fought in 10 years. I saw some reviews. Well, we'll get there once we kind of explain the rest of what happened in the episode and talk about it. Right, so Obi-Wan keeps running, and my favorite part of that whole episode is, like, I was actually scared because you're sitting there and all you can see is, like, the point of view of Obi-Wan. He's circling around.
He's holding that lightsaber like he's held it.
He's so scared. He's like... And you're thinking, oh my God, what if Vader just pops up? Like, what if he turns around and Vader's right there? But then Vader, that's not Vader's style though, right? So he's looking and you just see from the distance, and he's just standing there. And you're like, oh no, this is about to happen. And the best part is Obi-Wan's like, what have you become?
Yeah, no, that line hits so hard for me.
It's a bar.
Yeah, I'm just like,
what have you become?
It's just it's seeing Obi-Wan seeing Vader for the first time. It's just like he's one scared shitless, obviously, because he's already running around and everything, and two, he's just like, this is the guy, this is the man, the kid that I saw on Tatooine, and now he's this like
monster,
complete monster, not even himself anymore.
Nope.
Someone. And then he says, like, I am what you made me.
Yeah, I am what you made me,
I'm like,
Obi-Wan.
Holy shit. I'm like, okay. I'm like just like that, the line of just, you can hear the hate coming out of it. You can hear
right? So then Obi-Wan keeps going, and you just see, like, whenever he's running and he turns around, and Vader, like, and the thing I really love about, Star Wars in general, as well as, like, if you watch Episode 3, Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight, obviously, peak cinema. But they're like his fighting style. Anakin's fighting style was quick. It's fast, right? Boom, boom. He does multiple moves, spins, right? He has this very unique fighting style. But Vader, he's not that mobile.
No.
So you see, he has the one hand, and he's just clanking.
Just uses pure power.
He's pure power, and Obi-Wan's like, and the funniest is off one hand.
Yeah.
Vader just boom, boom, and just pushes him straight to the ground. And Obi-Wan's just like...
And you can just see that, like, Vader doesn't want to kill him.
No, because he doesn't want to fight a weak Obi-Wan.
But he wants him to suffer as well.
He wants him to suffer.
And when he force chokes him up, and then puts just like kicks the rocks, I'm like, oh, and then he puts a saber to it, and I'm like, he's gonna like try to burn him alive.
He's like, now you'll suffer like I did.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan. And you're like, oh no.
Well, first I want to know, how did that beautiful hair survive that fire? That's what I gotta say.
Ewan, that's what I'm saying. That's Obi-Wan. That's that Ewan McGregor locks,
it's
man.
Just the Jesus locks.
But he was burning, and then like, so then right, that chick comes in and saves.
I forgot what her name was.
I forgot her name too. But she comes in and saves. It's hard to focus whenever you have Vader and Obi-Wan.
It really is, honestly.
So he's like, he has him in there, and then boom, right? She comes in, helps him, and then sparks that fire again. So then, like, and people are like, oh, Vader could have easily pulled him through the fire, and it's like, but Vader doesn't want him like that.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't. It's not like that's not how he wants to do it.
That's not how he wants it. Because what? But the thing is, right? That's exactly it. He can just go tell Palpatine. He said, hey, we lost him. But the thing is, they know they're going to catch him.
Right, yeah.
Just a matter of time. And Vader didn't like how that ended. You can see, like, you can just genuinely see in his mannerism.
No, because he wanted to keep him, he wanted to take him, obviously.
He wanted to take him.
Because he's the one who stopped the fire. He stopped the fire. He's like, done.
Exactly.
This is your first wave of suffering.
Yeah, it's like a little teaser.
Yeah, it's a little teaser. And then, obviously, what her real life name, Edamir, I think is what her name is. I can't, something like that. Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones actor, she's great. She shoots the rocks again. They just completely combust in the flames, and that one tanking droid grabs Obi-Wan and gets him out of there. But
you can see on Vader's face.
That's the thing. Like that's the great thing about Vader is that his face stays the same, but you can still feel like you can see emotion.
Exactly.
Because like the ending of Rogue One, right? When he is just chopping up those rebels, like I remember watching that for the first time because it was like the first time we see like,
and you're just like
modern Vader. You can just see like they zoom in on his face, and you can just see like he's just mad that the plans got away.
Yes,
he's just mad, and he's pissed. And you can just like. You can feel it. You can feel it. It's just more of a feeling thing, and you can saw it at the end of Obi-Wan Episode 3, is that hate and anger on his face that Obi-Wan got away.
Dude, he was so pissed. Like
he was pissed off.
Like not even that he got away, it's like that it didn't go his way.
Right, exactly.
It didn't go his way, and because he could have just pulled him in, killed Obi-Wan, but that's not how he wants it. Because he believes like, you made me like this, Obi-Wan. You destroyed me. You made me to this thing. Now I'm gonna make you suffer, and I want you to suffer. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. No, your suffering is gonna be for a long time, and I want you alive for it.
And it's what Darth Maul tried. Oh wait, actually, I don't want to spoil Clone Wars for you.
No, hold on.
Wait, hold on, pause.
Pause that, hold on.
Yeah, if you're wondering, Neima is watching the Clone Wars for the first time. You said you're on episode 320 on the Citadel arc right now.
Where, this is a quick side note, guys, but it's the one where I'm at the area where Citadel, but Maul's introduced. Savage was there, and then he's like, "Oh, I can't beat them," and it's like, "Go find your brother," and he's like, "I didn't know anyone's life," and you see Maul's face, and I was just like, "Oh, here we go. I'm in the action." Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad I stopped myself before I said anything. You stopped yourself.
But I mean, as I usually said, it's perfect that he just wants him to suffer, and I hope that there can be another interaction with them in this episode. There has to be. There has to be now.
Because now what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen is he's going to become in tune with the Force. He's going to get Qui-Gon's help, and then he's going to battle Anakin
What if we see Liam Neeson tonight?
That's what I'm saying. I think what's going to happen is he's going to but he's going to have to be one with the Force, and then Liam Neeson's going to be like, Obi-Wan. And you're like, what? Qui-Gon?
Yeah.
Qui-Gon Leeson?
Happy birthday to Liam Neeson, by the way. He's turned 70 today.
It was his birthday today?
Yeah, it was.
Happy birthday, Liam.
Woo!
Thank you, Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Qui-Gon, for your very strong will and
man.
the Jedi code.
But I mean, so I could see a Liam Neeson cameo.
Oh, they're gonna give him a cameo.
I can see that, and that's the thing about it is that, you know, Liam probably, you know, who knows if he was going to go to a Star Wars Celebration or not, but I feel like if he was there, people would have been like, oh,
Yeah,
he's going to be an Obi-Wan.
He's doing the voice acting for like another spin-off or something like that.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's doing something for
Star Wars?
Yeah.
Which one?
Let's look it up right now. Because I saw it and I'm like, wow, he's still in this realm. Like,
well, I remember back in the 90s when he basically instantly accepted the role without even reading the Phantom Menace script. So, I mean, like, obviously he's been a huge George Lucas fan for a long time. But I didn't know he was voicing something.
Yeah, he's voicing Qui-Gon Jinn on another Star Wars series.
Oh, great. Perfect. Well, hey, I'm for that. Maybe.
Oh, here you go. Lucasfilm has been announcing a new project left and right at this weekend's Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, which is Star Wars Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Yeah.
So he's Qui-Gon again.
Yeah, okay. Hey, well, there you go. Perfect.
So that's what I'm thinking. They're going to keep him around. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that I saw that people nitpicked about Episode 3 that I just want to debunk because they're stupid. Number one, some people are saying, right, we already debunked one. People are like, oh, why didn't Vader just kill him? Well, no, he wants him to suffer. Like, we just went through that. Another one was, no, actually, this is a side note. Arya was telling me he's saying that this episode was originally supposed to have, like, a very epic fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. And Darth Vader was going to be more Rogue One-esque and more ruthless, but they cut it out. Disney was like, nah, we're going to cut it out. But in my opinion, how much more? He was more Rogue One than he was in Rogue One. He was snapping people's necks on the side of the...
Well, I think if it was the intensity of... Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't... I'm talking about right now, look at the standpoint of Vader.
Yeah. He was aggressive. We just talking about...
Yeah, what do you else... Do you want him to, like, decapitate people? Like it's gonna...
He was killing innocent people.
Yeah, it's gonna bring the same point across, just more Game of Thrones like.
Exactly.
So yeah, to me, like I don't really see why you'd be upset with that because to me, a neck snap is just as effective as chopping off someone's
arm. On Disney
arm.
Plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not HBO Max, guys. Like you gotta lower your expectations of gore. Like
that was gory to me, honestly. Like okay, maybe, obviously there's more gore, but like. That was honestly, I was like, whoa, like, we've never seen this Vader before. We've never seen this.
It was pretty intense.
It was intense. And then another thing is, like, no, like, you can't have that massive fight. Obi-Wan is not in tune with the Force.
No.
He hasn't used the lightsaber in a decade. What do you think? He's going to come back in and be like, all right, Vader.
I'm back, baby.
I'm back, Marvy. I'm back, baby. Like, no way. Like, you got to have some plot. You got to have something to where Obi-Wan has to fight his way back and find a way. But have you... This is another side note. Have you seen that meme where it's like Yoda sleeping and it's like while Obi-Wan's going through hell, this is Yoda on Dagobah. And he's just like, because like right, everything's going down and Yoda's just like, you know, chilling asleep. He's just chilling on Dagobah. Like, oh, Vader and Obi-Wan are fighting. It's whatever.
That's cool.
That's cool. So I thought that was so funny.
Don't worry about that. We're chilling.
But I think they nailed that episode. Like they just nailed it.
They did.
Like it was so good. Obi-Wan looked like. He was perfect. I mean, Ewan McGregor just honestly, like, he just embodies the role of Obi-Wan.
He was incredible. Hayden Christensen was incredible. It was peak Star Wars porn for all of us.
It's like you can't get any better than that. Like no one would have ever thought that like we would have this.
Yeah, and the fact that we have it now and that we get another, 40. Shit, how long has it been? 45 years later that we get another Obi-Wan Darth Vader interaction. It's great.
Oh, it's crazy. 45 years. Oh my gosh. But you saw like there was an interview with Ewan McGregor and he's saying when we first did the films 2001, 4 and 5, 2003 and 2005, the early 2000s when they did the first 3 episodes, the prequels. He was saying, at that time like they made it and it was very popular, but right to the kids, and he didn't see like, he didn't feel as if the impact was a lot. But then he's like, now that I'm back and like, we're doing this thing, and we're pushing Star Wars again. The kids that were watching it, like you and I,
we're 20,
like,
23,
they're
24.
older now, and they're still wanting this stuff. They love it, and he's like, it's so cool to see. because that generation grew up and they're still like, I need more.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny about that is that someone was comparing like us as like we're the prequel like fans basically because of our era. Someone was saying like, oh, like what if people like they're like kids right now that grow up, are they still going to be sequel fans when they grow up? And I'm like, that would be very interesting. I would love. I never thought of that like that way. Like will the sequels have some renaissance 15 years
like
from now?
Rey and all that.
Well, like yeah, Kylo. Like
I think they're gonna put that one 12 feet under.
Yeah, that's that's what I was assuming. But I just always thought that was funny that the prequels got so much hate when they came out. But then,
they did,
but
right?
Then now that the younger generation that love those movies have now grown up. Now they're like some like big massive thing that everyone loves, and it's just I just always think it's funny. Like will the same thing happen for the sequels and
That's
2037 or some shit like that.
20 years from now, we'll see. I hope not. If I see Rey, I'm gonna be like, kids, close your eyes.
Well, I don't think. I mean, we can talk about this. I don't really think it will because it's just a different. It just feels like it's so much different from the actual first 6 movies that it's just completely different. But
like,
I mean, who knows? Obviously, about that's completely off topic. Obviously,
but right when it comes to Obi-Wan, Episode 4 comes out tonight Central, or I guess tomorrow morning Central.
It's like 1 a.m. It's
2
1 a.m., 2
a.m.
a.m., something around there.
2 a.m. because Pacific is going to be 12.
Well, I hate that they bring it out so late, dude. Like,
Yeah, no.
I always want to take a nap before, then wake up. I'm like, if I do that, I won't be able to like really, see. I won't be able to enjoy it as much, basically. So I have to stay up till 3:34 because I'm gonna be like probably panting after the hour long like bonanza I'm gonna be in.
And it's hard to watch the episodes because it's like after you watch it, you're like, I need more.
Well, I after episode 3, I rewatched it again instantly after the entire thing.
Episode 3?
Yeah, I rewatched it, so I was up literally to like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning.
So you know what's funny? With like literally after that episode, we threw on episode 3 too. Like me, Arya, Jared, we were watching it, and like we watched that episode, and we were just like just mouths open, like, oh my god, did that just happen? And it's like, we need to watch the episode 3 fight. So we throw it on, and then we were watching, the Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then like Yoda and Sidious come up, and Arya's like, oh, we should skip through this. And Jared and I are just like,
what the fuck?
What did you just say? He's like, did this guy just say skip Yoda versus Sidious? Have you lost your mind? I'm like, what is this guy? Who is this guy?
That's funny.
It was so funny, and it was just like, my little green friend. And you're like, you want to skip that? I mean, this thing.
And then I guess the end of the episode, Leia is taken by Reva.
Okay, can you explain to me here, how the hell did she get on the other side of the tunnel?
I have no, that's a great question.
How?
Because I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
She went through the tunnel. Leia and the other lady from Game of Thrones, they go through the tunnel. Obi-Wan says, I'll stay back. I'll be right behind you guys. Goes, and he goes off with Vader. They're going through the tunnel. Then Leia's like, you need to go, don't you? And she's like, yeah. So she goes back. She somehow makes it to her. And then we see that the Inquisitor, she's looking, and she's like, oh, I found the opening. So it should be here. So they should have met up. But it didn't happen like that. She got out.
Well, I think that there had to be I'm assuming that there was multiple paths in the tunnel.
The only way that but I think what it is was she saw it and she knew how to get to the other side.
That's what I'm assuming. Or she told some probe droid make an underground scan of the area so I can see it.
I just don't know how it happened.
I mean, I guess a bit of a plot hole if you want to be technical. That's more of a nitpick, I'd say. But
yeah, it is a nitpick. I would say it was a nitpick. It was just
I agree with you though. Like it had she.
I'm not nitpicking because I'm like, you know what? She got captured, but I was just like, how the hell that happened?
Yeah, but I mean. So Leia, I guess, is gonna go back to Fortress Inquisitor. I guess I forgot what the planet like that planet that they're on. It was in Jedi Fallen Order.
But isn't that funny? We were talking about this the other day when we were talking about. I wonder how many episodes Leia will be in. Seems like she's gonna be in the whole series.
6. She's gonna be in all 6, and Luke has 0 impact on the series.
Yeah, Luke has 0.
Well, that's not surprising. Actually, now I think about it, because the episode, A New Hope's really where they interact a lot, but. I'm just surprised that there was one like 2-minute Luke scene and Uncle Owen 2-minute scene, and now it seems like they're not going to be part of the show anymore. I guess it's a bit surprising, not disappointing, just a bit surprising.
No,
I guess.
I mean, because if you think about it, right, like you said, in A New Hope, like Obi-Wan, because this is if you think about it, Obi-Wan really started. I kind of introduced him to the Force in that movie,
Right.
Which is way after this. Mm-hmm. So I think if they introduce him talking to Luke and interacting with Luke, it's like, okay, well, he's gonna know about the Force in a way, right? Like at some point, it's not gonna be another 15 years, and then it's like he'll never know about the Force,
right?
Right. So I think like they could bring Luke in, but I think because they have to be careful because you don't want to step on canon stuff,
right? Well, and like that they haven't so far, which is very difficult as something to make. Well, one, to make a prequel, and two, to make kind of like a double prequel, basically what they're doing right now. One is because like, some people that have been pointing to a plot hole, and honestly, this one I can see is a bit fair in my opinion. Is when, you know how in Leia's message, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, my only hope," the iconic one, episode 4, is like that she like, obviously that Leia and Obi-Wan, massive interaction right now. Like they both know who each other are, obviously. So then like her line, episode 4, is like, "You helped serve my father during the Clone Wars." It's like I guess like what people are saying is that like, oh, it should be like, remember when you helped me when I almost died like 45 times back when I was like 10 years old, that kind of shit. Like do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't mind that too much. I
don't mind that. I don't mind it because like it's not the only hope scene. It's more of like, you fought with my father during the Clone Wars.
But you also have to think as well, like,
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
No,
I don't really
and
care.
Saying, and I'm just feeding fire to the devil's advocate. I'm saying, what if you think about it from a standpoint of Leia's a kid, right? They're like, what? How old are they?
They're both 10. They're
10 years old. Okay, so they're both 10 years old, and then how many years is it until New Hope? After
until Revenge of the Sith, like 20.
No, A New Hope.
Oh, I'm sorry, Revenge from A New Hope. Yeah, 20.
20 years?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is halfway through.
Yeah.
So another 10 years. Yeah, so I feel like I don't mind it too much because like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Like what does the people want to say? Hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, let me break down every single moment that we had when we were kids. No, it's like, hey, Obi-Wan, you're my last hope. Can you help me? You know what I mean? Because when you're a kid, you kind of forget a lot of things.
I have a list.
Hey, Obi-Wan, dude, you remember when we were sitting in the back of the truck and the stormtroopers were there and we did this and that? And it's like...
And the mole guy, Freck, ratted us
out. Yeah, that stupid mole guy. Freck, I hate you. Like, no, it's like... I think they did fine with that because she knew he was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's, I mean,
right? She knew he was Obi-Wan.
It just feels like that some people are just complaining now, just to complain about.
Oh, they do. Like, did you see people got butthurt whenever Obi-Wan? So she says, "Are you my father?" And he was like, "No, I wish I was," or something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, Obi-Wan saying that is blah 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 stupid because like his affection was for Padme and all this stuff." And I'm like. He literally is just saying that because, like, I don't know. Maybe the father of the kid that he's trying to save was literally like his brother. I don't know. I don't know. Like,
and it's now literally like
and literally evil.
Yeah, evil. Like legit, just evil. And like it just. And it feels like for me it does sometimes come back to a race thing sometimes with Reva.
I know.
And it just feels like that a lot of these like unfortunately big content creators are just like. Saying like basically putting out just misinformation. I remember one saying like for Disney's failing Obi-Wan show. I'm like, do you realize that this is like the most watched Disney Plus show ever? And also that you realize that The Mandalorian was like the most watched show ever at a time before this. So what does that make Obi-Wan then?
Yeah, literally
the most watched show in the world right now. So a fucking long shot.
You know, Reva in the last episode was perfectly fine.
She was great. I thought she was great, and I actually like. The thing about it is that she's been a bit impulsive the first episode.
She has to.
But when I feel like she slowed down a lot this episode.
Yeah.
And she was really focusing on things. That's like the one thing that they are teaching. Like with that Ahsoka episode, with that old hag Jedi telling her to just kind of slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of I kind of was seeing the same thing where it's like Reva slowed down and then she patiently was like, "There's a pathway here," and she forced everything out of the way and found it. I thought she was great. I mean, obviously, it was everyone was a side character
Yeah,
that series,
and, like,
that episode for Vader.
Exactly.
But she was great, and like she slowed down. She found the path. I guess as a Inquisitor, she did a great job because she found Leia.
Literally.
And obviously they're gonna have to go back to Fortress Inquisitor, as I said. But I thought she was great, and honestly, like, the entire series has been great so far,
been
man.
so good.
I love all the characters are like all the makeup and the costumes have been great. The Fifth Brother
amazing.
looks good. The Grand Inquisitor was really intimidating in my opinion. I don't know who the other sister is. I can't remember.
I don't know, but who's the other guy that like
We had the Fifth Brother, the
fifth
sister.
brother, where he looks very scary.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really good in this series compared to when he looked in Rebels. But yeah, honestly, another great episode. I can't wait till tonight. Hopefully, we see some more Darth Vader.
We're gonna see. I hope we see some flashbacks of the Clone Wars.
People are wanting that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's happening.
I don't think
I don't think we're gonna any flashbacks this series. If we do, it'll be this episode.
It won't be much.
But if we don't get this episode, I don't see us getting some like Clone Wars flashback. And I guess it would suck, but I don't really have my expectations for it. So if it happens, I'll be excited. If it doesn't,
I'm the same way. I think it'd be cool, but like I like what they're doing right now. I genuinely like what they're doing. And we just gotta wait for the next episode. It looks like it's gonna be just another spectacular 3 episodes, man. I'm so stoked for this. It's coming out our time tomorrow morning, 2 a.m. Central. So
gonna get some coffee.
We're in the end game now. But I think that's good on Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan, I'm just excited for the next episode. So I know Ian wanted to talk a little bit about his own stuff. So
yeah.
Ian, how about you?
Take it
away, man. Take it away.
Yeah, first episode we talked about a little bit Z4C, and then obviously it's been about 5 weeks from that now, so just a little bit of update. I have drafted my team. We've done a lot of good practicing together. I've got Gamey Track, I got Insane Gamer, I got Keg, 3 guys who thankfully I guess like they've kind of made me the leader of the group, I say, because I spear on Cold War a lot, so like I kind of know most of the strats already. So like, but they're a great team, and I really enjoyed practicing with them so far. We're gonna practice tomorrow night as well for about another 5 or so hours. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Event on the 25th. The goal is $10,000. I don't know how much we've raised so far. I think it's around 3K, but I could be completely wrong. I don't remember the exact amount right now, but yeah, goal is 10K. I can't wait. Obviously, it's a charity event. Yeah. It's all just for fun, but the reason we're practicing so much is because it's a competition at the same time. So I kind of want to win, to be honest. But if we don't win, it's not a huge deal at the end of the day. But yeah, just excited for Z4C. It's going to be a great one this year. Hopefully that it can be like a really good revival for Zombies for Charity because, as most of y'all know in the community, unfortunately, Keeman's brother did commit suicide. I'm sure you don't know this, but yeah, someone in the one of our friends' brothers unfortunately committed suicide about a couple weeks ago. So it's it really sucks.
Yeah,
in my opinion, he was 21 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrible, but coincidentally that our charity this year is for suicide prevention. So I think it's really important that we all come together and really support Kingman.
Yeah.
And really support the community as a whole. And let's hope we can reach this 10K goal because it's huge.
My condolences, man. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it was. You just can't even imagine that. Yeah, I know Keenan. We're not super close, but I do know him, and it's just horrible to see anyone go through that. So yeah, my heart goes out to him and his family. Our prayers are with you, man. So you just take all the time you need, of course. But yeah. So but as I said, Zombies Charity happening June the 25th. You guys should definitely come out for that. Gonna be a lot. It's just gonna be Cold War, no Black Ops 3, which just because of the whole cross-platform thing with Cold War, that we can play on. If I'm on PC, I'm playing. All my guys are on console, so I can still play with them though because of the cross-platform, which is great.
Nice.
So All gonna be Cold War. All the challenges are actually pretty good. If you haven't, I can probably tell y'all right now. Actually, it's D Machine Easter egg speedrun, Firebase C21 speedrun, Mallard or Toad Easter egg speedrun, which is the best in the game. Rampage first room, Forsaken first room, Forsaken egg speedrun, and there is an Onslaught challenge. And actually, surprisingly, Onslaught's are pretty good. Onslaught's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty fast paced. Surprisingly, it was horrible when it came out last year, but it's been really good now. So yeah, the challenge is gonna be great. It's gonna be a great event, man. I can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be good. We're about 18 days from it now. So yeah, it's gonna be good, man.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
You got to get it rolling.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 6 teams. So it's. I mean, it's. You know, as I said last time, it's truly honored to be a part of a great event. That,
yeah, of course,
man. You know, it's hopefully just another step into more interaction with the zombies community. That, you know, it feels like it's actually been growing more the past, or not growing, but reviving itself the past 4 or 5 months. So
yeah,
you know, Zombies World Records site is doing well. I saw a stat they sent to us, since I'm on the staff myself. They it got over like 1 million views. I can't remember if it was like in the month or year, but
wow.
Whenever you do 1 million, that's always really good. So you know, we had 3 partnerships just off of Zombie Speedrunning this year. So hopefully, and then we've also had Zombies World Championship last year. So still a lot of stuff going on, man. So, you know, it's been pretty awesome. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to see the future. Hopefully it makes a good revival.
June 25th.
Are you there? But you got anything else to add, man? Or are you good?
I don't know, dude. If there's anything else, I'm good for me.
I think I'm good, man. We, you know, as we said, bad officiating, Kenobi, Z4C. Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much. As I said, hopefully the quality isn't just dog water this time.
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out, and
I'll
see if. Hopefully, I won't say shit whenever I look at it on my computer. But hey, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week for the episode 6. All right, see you guys then. Bye bye.